What's going on, y'all? Today we got the Warriors, or the Golden State Warriors, tricked everyone, man. Let's get into it. Let's see what's up.
The NBA playoffs this year have been nothing short of spectacular. I mean, we've had an 8th-seeded team, the Miami Heat, defeat the top seed in the East and the Milwaukee Bucks. We've had a 7th-seeded team in the West, my Los Angeles Lakers, defeat the 2nd seed in the West, the Memphis Grizzlies. And that's before we get to one of the most heated series in the entire playoffs. And that's what we're bringing you guys here today. The Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors series has officially concluded. That doesn't mean there hasn't been any shortage of drama and any questions looming moving forward. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. We are 2,600 followers away from hitting 100K followers on Instagram. And when we hit 100K followers on Instagram, we're going to be giving away $100 to multiple of my followers that follow and turn on my notifications on Instagram. Now that we get all that out of the way, wow, I almost did it. You see that? I almost said break. Ah! Cue the intro. Some of the green slips you guys have been sending me is crazy. Like $1,250 off of a $250 slip, or $1,500 off of a $150 power play. We've been making bank off of our basketball picks, bro. March Madness was a huge success, and believe me, we're about to ramp it up for the NBA playoffs. All you have to do is download Prize Picks, use my promo code microphone, and they'll match your first deposit up to $100 instantly. After that, just follow me on Instagram. I post all of my picks onto my Instagram story for free, and we can start making money off of these picks together. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? It seems like 1 year ago, the Golden State Warriors couldn't do anything wrong. I mean, everything from their team chemistry, from the fact that people were actually rooting for them to succeed, to the depth that they had on their bench was just going right. And they were able to leverage this on a historic run to the NBA Finals to win their core of Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry yet another championship. But this time it was done a little bit differently. It wasn't because they had a superstar like Kevin Durant in addition to those 3 spectacular players. Rather, it was because they had a plethora of depth. Players like Damian Lee, Jordan Poole. Hell, James Wiseman took one of the coldest pictures of all time, and he definitely contributed to this championship. Jokes aside, the Warriors could do no wrong, and everything seemed to be all smiles and happily ever after. Hell, Klay Thompson tore his Achilles when he was about to come back from his torn ACL, and he was able to make his way all the way back to this moment. His first season back with the Golden State Warriors resulted in a championship. But there's this one motif that I'm a huge fan of. Once happily ever after happens, what happens after happily ever after? Well, life goes on. Things don't necessarily always tend to be so happy, and that's just how life is. There's ebbs and flows to life. There's peaks and valleys in life. And there's no better example than the Golden State Warriors. Very shortly after winning a championship, Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole exclaimed at the top of their lungs that they were going to get a bag.
Yes, we can do that. You will be a champion, and you about to get a bag. You about to get a bag. No. You about to get a bag. We about to get a bag. We about to get a bag.
And that's not a lie, especially for Jordan Poole. This has to be significant. I mean, you are working your entire life to get to this point. You weren't selected with the #1 overall pick in the 2014 NBA draft like Andrew Wiggins was. You weren't already given a rookie max contract extension like Andrew Wiggins was. No, you were out to prove that you belong in the NBA. We could all agree that Jordan Poole definitely hit the lottery whenever it came to the team that selected him, and the fact that a huge portion of the success you have in your career is definitely based upon the team that drafts you and the team that develops you. Both Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins won big. Andrew Wiggins got traded to the Golden State Warriors and had his career revived. Jordan Poole, well, he averaged 18 points per game last year, en route to winning the NBA Finals. There were memes about how every time there was an attractive woman in the crowd, Jordan Poole would light the stat sheet up. It was all smiles for the Golden State Warriors, and Jordan Poole would get his bag, by the way. way. He would sign a 4-year, $128 million contract with the Warriors, including $123 million guaranteed. Andrew Wiggins on the same day took a huge pay cut just to stay with the Warriors. 4 years, $100 million, just so he could be with a stable organization that he won a championship with. Everything seemed like it was going well with the Golden State Warriors. But once again, what happens after happily ever after? Well, the very first news that we got this season was Draymond Green was caught on camera punching the living shit out of Jordan Poole. Immediately, trust issues were had. Let's forget the fact that there's literally footage of Jordan Poole getting his face punched through by Draymond Green, which in and of itself was its own problem. But who the hell leaked the footage out there to begin with? Which member of the Golden State Warriors staff did this? There's a wolf in the lion's den. There was a rat in the lion's den. Well, that aside, there was some clear tension between the Golden State Warriors, and this wouldn't be the first time that Draymond Green was involved. Throughout the season, you saw that things were anything but stable. This isn't anything new for a championship team. I mean, hell, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, they currently have their own relationship, and we actually have a video about how they're doing now. But that aside, they had to deal with Dennis Rodman. The Lakers had a wild card in the mix in the form of Metta World Peace, and I don't know if Draymond Green is necessarily on that level, but this isn't anything new for teams that have won championships. This isn't anything new for dynasties. And the most recent example of this would come when Draymond Green was involved in a moment that without a doubt could have ruined the series for the Warriors. Thankfully it didn't. You know, when Domantas Sabonis happened to just grab Draymond Green's leg, which resulted in Draymond Green stepping on Domantas Sabonis' chest. Some people say Draymond Green shouldn't have been suspended for a game. Some people say that Domantas Sabonis was in the right here. Now, immediately upon this happening, the entire Golden State Warriors team came to Draymond Green's defense. Like Klay Thompson had this to say:
"What are you gonna do when someone grabs your foot when you're running full speed? Fully grabs your foot and yanks on you? That's not cool, man. I'm not saying what Draymond did was right, but you can't just grab somebody's foot when they're taking off in a full sprint. That's not cool. I don't do that."
And to be honest, I really just appreciated this dramatic moment. I mean, nothing like some intense playoff basketball, a player that you really don't like getting tossed and a player getting suspended and it being controversial to really get us engaged in the NBA playoffs, as if we even needed that based upon how this is one of the most balanced NBA playoffs I think we've ever seen. I mean, between this, the fact that the Warriors would win, the fact that De'Aaron Fox dislocated his finger, and the fact that the Sacramento Kings were able to push this to 7 games in of itself was significant. I mean, we didn't even bring up the fact that Mike Brown was a former assistant coach with Steve Kerr. This is by far the greatest turnaround and biggest head coaching success that Mike Brown has ever had, bringing a team that was a perennial laughingstock like the Sacramento Kings to the spot that they are now, in a position where they could potentially end the Golden State Warriors season. Everything needs to be in tip.
I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Game 7, and hell, if they get Game 6 going the right way, Golden State Warriors could end the Sacramento Kings season. Yet another upset in the first round of the NBA playoffs. But in this particular game, there was one player that recently got a 4-year,
Game 7
contract extension that was anything but focused, and that was Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole took the next step as a player this season. They really needed him to. He's averaging 20 points per game, shooting 33% from 3, averaging 4.5 assists per game. He's contributed 3.2 wins. But in this particular instance, Jordan Poole wasn't locked in. You don't believe me? Well, listen to what Mike Breen had to say about Jordan Poole's performance in this particular play.
It's been that kind of game for Jordan Poole. Just 2 of 10 from the field.
Jordan Poole had
just
had to say about
I gotta see that again, because what the
particular play.
How do you not get the ball right there?
Kind of game for Jordan Poole.
Get the ball. Why'd you?
Jordan Poole had an all-time horrific game. Hell, I put him as less than 16 points on Prize Picks, and I was right. He only came out with 7, which is not what you want at home from your most crucial player. It was a terrible game for the man. Jordan Poole was 2 for 11, had 7 points. He had 2 steals to his credit, and was all in all just abysmal. He had a minus 0.2 game score, and he was a minus 14. We didn't make this video just to shit on Jordan Poole. This is a problem that could either plague the Golden State Warriors in the playoffs, and if it doesn't plague them in the playoffs, then it could definitely plague them once it's the offseason, once it's the future. What are they going to do to resolve this? And is this a symptom of Draymond Green punching Jordan Poole 6 months ago? I don't think so. What I'm talking about is, take a look at this. Draymond Green is trying to get Jordan Poole back into it in this particular moment. Obviously, he's not having the best game, but Jordan Poole's a very important member of the Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green's doing everything he possibly can to get it out of him. And you can see Jordan Poole's body language was just horrific here. For the most significant clip of all, the one clip that was sent to me by not only my friends, but also some subscribers and also some colleagues, and hell, even my editors, was this one. This is the reason why we made this video. This is the most overanalyzed clip in the NBA right now. As you can see from this footage, you can see the Golden State Warriors are about to enter a timeout. Klay Thompson is trying to remain upbeat. Klay Thompson's trying to remain upbeat. He's trying to stay locked in, and he's trying to push the team as much as he can. But the important thing here is, look at Jordan Poole and Draymond Green's interaction. Jordan Poole shoves Draymond Green away. He doesn't even want to hear it at this point. Steph Curry sees this and tries to put Jordan Poole in check. He tries to calm down Jordan Poole at this point. He's trying to talk it over with him, because at the end of the day, Jordan Poole's a very vital member of this team. Draymond Green awkwardly is on the side at this point, and at this point, I think we could all agree this could be a problem. It doesn't even have to be this year. It could be in the future. This could potentially jeopardize the core of the Golden State Warriors. Now, the first theory that pops into people's minds is, oh my God, Draymond Green, you shouldn't have punched the living shit out of Jordan Poole. This is what you get. This is the reaction you get. I'm a little bit more realistic than that. I don't like blowing up relatively small situations like this into something it's not. The reality is, I think Jordan Poole is just really frustrated at a horrible game he had, and no cliche motivational BS is going to get him going. I mean, I know people like that. Some people just need to hear, don't give up, don't quit. And that's all it takes for them to be ready to run through a wall. And some people just need to dig themselves out of it. And Jordan Poole might be one of those people. But there's also a chance that I'm wrong. And in the instance I'm wrong, if things are too far gone between Draymond Green and Jordan Poole, how do the Warriors resolve this? Now, at this point, you might be thinking, Mike, what the hell? This is one of the most negative videos that you've ever made about a team that is advancing in the playoffs. So why are you doing it? I think there's something that we all should really appreciate about this year's Golden State Warriors. This is by far one of the most flawed teams that I've ever seen the Golden State Warriors compete with. In just this Game 7 alone, look at how horrific Klay Thompson was, except for that one incredible 4-point play that he had. In addition to Jordan Poole once again playing terribly, and Andrew Wiggins shooting horrifically.
By the way,
Yet despite
I was watching that.
Von Looney had over 20 rebounds, which, by the way, as a Laker fan, I am willing to admit this is going to be a huge problem for us in the next round. But on top of that, Gary Payton played remarkable defense, and Steph Curry gave us another signature moment in his Hall of Fame career to close out the inexperienced Sacramento Kings while the Golden State Warriors were on the road.
After that, what you call it? What is the word? What is the word? Can't even think of the word, but y'all know that I thought I did. After that, I don't know. I can't even think of the term.
By the way, throughout the entire regular season was supposed to be their weakness. We've given you multiple examples throughout this entire video of how flawed the Golden State Warriors were, from the Draymond Green suspension, to the fact that Jordan Poole has been playing horrifically throughout this entire series, to the fact that they're going up against their former assistant coach, who is at the top of his game currently, against a very deep team that I expect to be back in this situation next year as they gain more experience. Yet, despite all of that, all of their miscues, all of their flaws, The Golden State Warriors were able to defeat the Sacramento Kings to move on to the Western Conference semifinals. I have to admit, this has been one of the coolest playoffs I've ever seen. I genuinely appreciate each and every series. I mean, the Miami Heat were able to take Game 1 against the New York Knicks, for crying out loud. And I could only imagine it getting better and better from here. So I don't want you to think that I'm just trying to be a huge negative Nancy about the Golden State Warriors, because we have a pretty cool series coming up with LeBron James versus Steph Curry. And
yup. That's the steer. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get him out of here. I ain't gonna lie, we got to. There's no ifs, ands, buts. No choice. You know what I'm saying? If y'all enjoyed this reaction, I know what to do. Click on the last reaction. Make sure you turn on post notifications. Last reaction right there. And I'm out of here, man. I'm out of here.